What's up, fight fans? Mademan here. Y'all know how I get down. We talking boxing, man. What up to the fam? What up to everyone in Mainman's boxing form over there on Facebook, man? Hey, look, the thing is this. Jaron Boots Ennis stopping Thomas Dulorme in the first round. 2 knockdowns happened during the fight fans, and an impressive showing from Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, Jaron Boots Ennis went in there, pretty much dominated this guy, something that most boxing fans expected. Thomas Dulorme entered this fight with 5 losses, pretty much lost to a lot of opponents at this point in his career, and he's been beat up a lot, you know what I mean? He's been in a lot of wars. He once upon a time was an explosive fighter, but that explosiveness has left the building, fight fans. Man, Jaron Boots Ennis went in there and handled business. It all started when he connected on the right hand over the top that landed right above the ear of Thomas Dulorme. And you know how those temple shots go, man. Usually knocks the equilibrium of the fighter off, and it's hard for him to recover. Well, we had something similar to that playing out right here. That right hand from Jaron Boots Ennis landed in the perfect spot. I mean, right on the button, you know what I mean? Putting him down in the first round. When he made it back to his feet, Thomas Dulorme didn't look like he was quite all the way there, but he was willing to try to engage. And when he had tried to gauge with Boots Ennis, Boots took his time, waited for the opening, and delivered a 3-piece combination, which started with a jab, then a straight left hand. We started with a straight left hand, a jab, then came back with the straight left hand, and he finished Thomas Dulorme with that combination, man, in the first round. You get me? So wonderful performance for Jaron Boots Ennis, man. Philly, stand up. Y'all got a lot of reason to be proud of y'all hopefully future champion in Jaron Boots Ennis, man. Now, what's very surprising is Jaron Boots Ennis was asked right after the fight who he wants to fight next, and you know, I gotta give it to Showtime. They really, I mean, Jim Gray in specific, I gotta give it to Jim Gray. He nailed it down and pressed down on Jaron Boots Ennis to say a name exactly who he wants to fight next, because he was kind of giving a general answer in the beginning, saying everybody's name, whether it was Crawford, whether it was Spence, whether it was Thurman, just mentioning names. But Jim Gray made him kind of drill down and say, hey, come on, give us a more, you know, a one name pretty much. Who is the next guy that you want to fight? And Jaron Boots Ennis' answer was Errol Spence Jr. Because just like we did in our video the other day, fight fans, it seems as if Jaron Ennis knows that his fastest route to a world championship would be through the IBF rankings, where he's rated number 3. Now, he can only hope that maybe the IBF would allow Errol Spence Jr. to go and unify with your Danis Ugas. And in that case, Jaron Boots Ennis can then go take on the number 1 contender in Abdul Kokorov, who is currently the IBF mandatory. And if Jaron Boots Ennis can get that fight and he beats Abdul Kokorov, well, then he would become the IBF mandatory. So that would be his hope. But if it doesn't go in that fashion and Errol Spence Jr. has to come back and fight his IBF mandatory in Abdul Kokorov, then fine. He'll wipe that out the way, get it out the way, and next in line would then be Jaron Boots Ennis. So either way you cut it, Jaron Boots Ennis wants to close the walls in on Errol Spence Jr. That is the name that he gave. That is the name that he's pretty much seeming like he knows that he's in the best position to get that fight with as soon as possible. So it is what it is, man. Jaron Boots Ennis, man, looked phenomenal tonight, man. Getting rid of Thomas Dulorme. Now, once again, I mean, Thomas Dulorme may not be the greatest of opposition at this point, but at the end of the day, he is a veteran. He's been around the fight game for a long time, been in a lot of big name fights. And I don't think no one has stopped him in this fashion, this fast. You know what I mean? He's been stopped before and things like that, but not like this, you know. But he's been through a lot of hard fights, a lot of tough fights. And I think it's almost pretty much saying, honestly, it's time for Thomas Dulorme. Let's just call it for what it is. It's time. His explosiveness is kind of gone. He started out early in his career as a very, very explosive fighter. A lot of activity in the ring, what he would do when you fight him. And now it's like very little activity, not nearly as much explosiveness. And you can clearly see now his punch resistance has gone down tremendously. So at the end of the day, man, I think it's about time for Thomas Dulorme. But as for Jaron Ennis, long ways ahead, got a bright future ahead of him. We're hoping he gets a world title shot, or at least put in a position to become a mandatory very, very soon. His best and fastest route would be through the IBF, fight fans. The WBC, it would take them a long time. The WBA, it would take them quite some time as well. And in the WBO, well, maybe not as much time, but still, it still would take much probably longer time than Jaron Ennis would like. His fastest route is in the IBF all day. Thumbs up on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. Share, rock those bells. Phenomenal performance from Jaron Boots Ennis. We want to see him step up in class. We want to see him step up in competition. You know, one of the greatest things that I would have loved to have heard if the WBA would have did the right thing in order to fight with Jaron Ennis and Stanionis. And of course, we know we got Butiev and Jamal James in the main event tonight. And allow Udanis Ugas to go on and unify with Errol Spence Jr. I think that would have been the best order of things. That would have been great fights. Stanionis and Jaron Boots Ennis could have fought it out for the chance to become possibly some sort of mandatory. Man, it just would have been a better scenario, man. But we'll see how it all works out, man. Once again, thumbs up for the fam, man. And I see y'all real soon on the next live stream.